Welcome to our channel where we talk about plant-based eating for busy people. Today we're going to make a salsa that we like to eat with a spoon. You'll see what I mean when we at the end of the video. It is easy, fast, fresh salsa. And especially since I'm out here in the garden, I will say this, as my kids were growing up, if we were eating a meal from our garden, so often I would just say, "Oh my gosh, you guys, can you just feel the cells in your body celebrating right now? Like, they are just so excited. They are just soaking in these vitamins and these antioxidants." And that's how this salsa is. When you eat this, it's not enough to put it on a chip and get it to your mouth. You need more. And again, I'll show you my favorite way to eat it at the end. Think of the things that are good for your skin and your eyes and all the other things. It's the stuff going into this salsa. So, like, it is a powerhouse of antioxidants and vitamins that are going to just make you feel young again. We are really blessed to have everything that we need out here in the garden. This salsa has 5 ingredients only, and we grow most of them. But just so you know, if you don't have a garden with all this goodness, this recipe does work well with, good tomatoes, if you can get good ones at your market, and peppers and stuff like that. It's just as well. Okay, not just as good, but it's good. It's really good from the market as well. The other thing, this is my brother-in-law's recipe. He invented it. I tweaked it a little bit because we are no oil, but I'll tell you his complete recipe just in case you want to add the few little extras. It is just so good, which is crazy because it's so simple. So here we go. Let's get started. I'll pick a few more tomatoes and meet you in the kitchen. All right, here we have our tomatoes, peppers, onion, jalapeños, and then garlic is our other ingredient. Fresh garlic obviously is going to be far superior, but we have this kind. I don't have fresh garlic. I use that other kind all the time. It's still delicious. So that's what we're starting with. And then we're obviously going to use our food processor for the whole thing. That's what makes it fast and easy. Okay, and with our food processor, ours is just a medium size, but we love it. We use it, oh gosh, it feels like every single day. So it's a Cuisinart. We'll put a link in the description if you are looking for one. And then let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the tomatoes, and this calls for 6 large tomatoes. So I've got a few more than 6 here, but that's because since these are fresh from the garden, I'm just quartering them. Since they're fresh from the garden, I'm going to have to cut off. As you can see, mine are kind of split at the top. I know. If I were a better garden, I wouldn't have the splits to worry about, but I'm just going to cut those out, and then I'm just quartering these tomatoes, throwing them in the food processor. I won't be able to put all of the tomatoes in at once, so I'll do this in 2 batches, 2 quick batches, and we will get these going. So what I've done, is I had probably 5 fairly largish ones, and then I put, in my mind, this made 1. This is 3. I just like to overdo when it comes to fruits and vegetables. And then this one, by the time I cut everything off, I added another large one just for good measure. So I'm just gonna pulse this, and then I will do low for just a few seconds. Obviously, you don't want puree, but we are going for finely chopped, as close as we can get. So I'm kind of using pulse more than the low. So I know it's okay. We're the ones that are going to eat this. So I'm fishing around. You can use a spoon. This is still a little large, so I'm going to give it a few more pulses. And then call that good. So I'm just going to pour that in this very large bowl. And you can see the consistency that we've got there. And then we'll do the rest of these tomatoes. Now we're going to do the same thing with the peppers. I washed it earlier, and these are very large peppers from my garden. So I don't know that they would typically be this big. So you can see I just want to chunk them up a little bit to help the food processor with its job. There are a few larger chunks in here. I'm going to go ahead and pull them out. I probably overloaded this just a bit. These were very large peppers. Typically, it's not a problem. But I'm going to take these chunks out. Sorry for the mess. Anyway, there's our peppers. I'm going to go ahead and just pour that in with the tomato. And we just had these chunks left over. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw those in with our jalapeños. So the jalapeños are also from the garden. Once, years ago, I canned salsa. Actually, I've done that many times, but one year I did it and I canned several pints of salsa from the garden, and I worked with these jalapeños all day long with no gloves. And I paid for that mistake for 2 solid days. My hands burned so bad. I could not seem to find relief in any way. So I'm a little careful with jalapeños. I'm obviously touching these, but I'm not handling them very much. So, especially if they're fresh, I would highly recommend that. And we'll just go ahead and do this a little bit more finely. Whew. You can definitely smell that. Let me get a spatula here, just because I want this distributed really well through the whole salsa. I'm going to stir it down once and give it a few last little pulses. Alrighty, that is done. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the mix. Lastly, we have the onion. I do measure the onions a little more precisely because, oddly enough, even with all of these super powerful veggies in one mix, it's the onion that will make or break it. If you get too much onion in there, you'll regret it. So I do like the red, purple, because it's so it's pretty, and I like the flavor as well. So I'm just giving this a little bit of a head start. I'm looking for 1.5 cups. I think that that's going to be about 1.5, but just to be on the safe side, we'll start with the 1 and go from there. does a really good job with the onion. I just love that. So hopefully you can see just the size on that. We are almost there. So now I know some people like a little chunkier salsa, but my family, my kids when they were growing up and now my grandkids, it's usually safest for my family to have smaller sized. Oh no, I forgot to measure that. Hang on. Kind of scooping it out of the bowl here to see. Looks like we have maybe a cup and a quarter there. So I don't want too much more. And gosh, after I scoop all this out, I think we'll be there actually. So 1 onion is all we needed there. And then our last vegetable ingredient is the garlic, and it calls for 4 cloves. So I'm going to just use the minced, and I'm just going to eyeball what feels like a clove. Garlic is delicious. So if you got a little extra in there, I'm going to even just throw some in on purpose. You're not going to hurt it. I think garlic is one of my favorite parts. Mix this all together. And then we have, these are the vegetable ingredients, but we are going to add some salt. And this is nice because you can do it according to your tastes and preferences. We are trying to be a little better with salt. I'm going to add a teaspoon and then taste it. And I think if I'm remembering correctly, that's where I like it. And then the other 2 ingredients that my brother-in-law adds are vinegar and oil. So I'm going to leave out the oil. Typically for this batch, I add 1/8 cup of vinegar and 1/8 cup of oil. I will go ahead and add the vinegar. I like the extra little tang that it gives. So we'll have vinegar and salt that we'll add here. But we're going to leave out the oil because we are no oil. But if you are okay with a little bit of oil, 1/8 cup of olive oil will give this like the perfect body. Okay, so once again, you can start with maybe a teaspoon and then add more to taste. Then we'll do 1/8 cup of, I like the apple cider vinegar with this. It's just a really good taste. All right, it's a little foamy, so you can't really see the colors and stuff. Ooh. Let me just show you. Ooh, it smells good. Holy cow. Makes a nice big batch, which we will eat this in short order. Okay, let's eat some of this. So I'm going to put a cup of this in this dish. Hopefully you can see how good that is. And then tortilla chips are bad for you. We try not to eat them. We really do. I like them, but I try not to eat them. I do have some on hand here, but I am going to crumble the equivalent of maybe 3 chips. These are kind of little shreds. Okay, we'll call it 4. This is like the equivalent of 4 chips. And I'm just going to crumble it into the salsa that I put in the dish. I know I'm not the only one to do this, but if you haven't tried it, you definitely would want to. And then I am going to grab a spoon and mix those chips in and just eat it like this out of the bowl. Oh my gosh. Fun fact about this salsa, it gets better as it sits. So you put this in the fridge and you can enjoy it for as long as it lasts. It won't last long. The onion is stronger in the beginning. I'm tasting the onion pretty strong. It's amazing, but I'm going to like it even better when the onion is not quite as strong. This way I get a little taste of chip. And this is not a gimmick. This is that good. Like I've often thought, I've eaten it without the chips, for real. I've often thought, you know what, I'm just going to call this some kind of soup and just eat this with a piece of bread and call it good, because it is just hard to describe how delicious. So give it a try. Enjoy it in these fall months, and appreciate you sticking with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, a better way to eat the salsa than the tortilla chips from a bag would be the homemade ones that we make. We love those. And I just don't have any right now, and I don't have time to make them, but later I will for sure, because we have salsa. So check out that video as well. Just thought I would tell you it makes about 3 quarts. So I've got over there on the counter, I don't even know if you can see it, I've just put it in these jars, and I've already eaten 2 cups of it. So you can see that not quite, just shy of 3 quarts. And it depends on like the size of your peppers and tomatoes and stuff. But one other tidbit, don't skimp on the green peppers. People don't realize what an important ingredient that is in the salsa and the taste and the fresh taste of it. So just one last note. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day.